Breaking news we're following out of Yamhill County tonight. A body believed to be that of a missing mother has been found 5 days after she disappeared.
Now, that body was found down an embankment near Dayton, several miles from where she disappeared after a wedding. Live on the scene now in Yamhill County, where that body was discovered.
Hey guys, my name is Dylan, and today we will look into another horrible case. Mom is the killer. In the most terrifying case, which explores the mysterious death of Meghan Cordi, a detective comes to the shocking conclusion that the mother, Jennifer Weathers, is to blame for her daughter's demise. This terrifying crime is looked at in detail in this video, along with the investigation, evidence, and possible motivations behind it. A 27-year-old lady, Meghan Cordi, and her mother, Jennifer Weathers, attended a wedding in August 2018 in Yamhill County, Oregon. It should have been a fun event, but the tables turned. While on their way home, something happened to Meghan, and only 3 people know of it. Regarding what emerged, one of them is no longer around to check the story. The other asserts Meghan just exited the vehicle and disappeared, leaving the third at just 3 years old. As she sat in her car seat for the last time, she saw her mother, who was also too young to truly understand what had occurred in the case of Meghan Cordi, who had found herself at the base of a ridge surrounding Dayton. The road was covered with mystery. One of them is no longer alive, the other claims Meghan vanished, and the third was just 3 years old. The story of Meghan Cordi is a case to crack. Meghan Cordi was born in December 1990, the daughter of Jennifer Weathers. She had a younger brother, Jacob. Not much is known about her childhood. Her father, Tony, was a Clackamas fire captain. Meghan gave birth to a beautiful girl in 2015 named Gia, who was her entire world. She would do anything for her. Meghan's auntie, Tracy, described her as a happy-go-lucky personality who never took life too seriously. She was always ready to cheer someone up even if it took some silliness. She also added that Meghan had a bright smile, which is the light of her personality. On August 18th, Meghan, her mother Jennifer, and her 3-year-old daughter Gia attended a family friend's wedding at Heiser Farms. It is in a rural area, typically known to host events and pumpkin patches. Meghan and her mother had argued about who would drive to the venue as they were unfamiliar with the routes. Jennifer wanted Meghan to take her vehicle in case Gia got tired and they had to rush home. But in the end, Jennifer was the one who drove everyone. It is uncertain if the ladies had an alcohol issue. However, given what transpired in the hours that followed, it's evident that alcohol undoubtedly had a big impact. The couple had a beautiful ceremony and everyone had a good time. Then, a wild reception of the drinks was being served, and everyone seemed to enjoy themselves. Aside from Jennifer and Meghan, both of whom had been drinking. It was passionate, and according to reports, Jennifer was notably drunk when some first saw her undecided, stating that she was a 6 to 8 on a drunkenness scale of 1 to 10. During the ceremony, the guests noticed that the pair were arguing about something, and they were supposedly drunk, but Jennifer seemed intoxicated. That's not someone who should be behind the wheel. It's simple to understand why Meghan might not choose to attend, agreeing with a grumpy young child who cannot fall asleep due to the music and unfamiliar setting. It was only 10 p.m., and Gia started feeling tired, and her mother wasn't comfortable with her cranky daughter in such a situation with loud music. Jennifer wanted to stay at the party longer despite it. She allegedly told Meghan that is precisely what she said would happen, referencing her having to leave early because of Gia. When they left, Jennifer was driving. Meghan was in the front seat, and Gia was strapped in the back. The argument continued, and after a while, Jennifer stopped. Meghan got out, and her cell phone pinged in the location. As Meghan's phone had been left in the car, it was easy for the police to investigate what had happened that night. Jennifer convinced Meghan to get back in the car, and she chose to sit in the back seat with Gia. Meghan called her boyfriend, and he could hear the argument in the background, and the argument was supposedly very heated. It was fiery, and there was screaming. Some reports suggest that Meghan told her boyfriend that Jennifer was drunk. After that day, Meghan's boyfriend never saw or talked to her. It was the last time when he heard her voice. The following version of events was told to the authorities by Jennifer. Jennifer says Meghan was angry and demanded that the car stop to leave. She left her phone and shoes in the car. Jennifer shouted out the window to call for Meghan, but she was nowhere to be seen. She drove around for 30 minutes to look for her, but couldn't find her anywhere. She went home with Gia, assuming that Meghan might have gotten a lift or made it back to the wedding venue again. She got home and slept, not knowing if her daughter Meghan had arrived home safely. She hadn't. Phone call recording says, Jennifer called a dispatch center number and said, "Hi, is this a number I call for a non-emergency?" The dispatcher replied, "Hey, this is the dispatch center for non-emergency." Jennifer reported, "My daughter has been missing since last night, and I'm getting kind of worried because she's supposed to work in 10 minutes. I haven't heard anything from her. We were at a wedding, and she was upset and got out of the car, and I haven't heard from her since. I haven't been able to find her. I drove around for 2 hours this morning looking for where she got out of the car. So I don't know if I should call 911 or if I have to wait a certain amount of time." The following day, August 19th, Jennifer wakes up and realizes that Meghan is still not back. She decides to see if she should report her missing by dialing 911, but she calls the non-emergency number instead. In the call, she stated that she spent 2 hours looking for Meghan and could not locate her. Dispatcher said, "No, there's never a certain amount of time you have to wait. Do you want to report her as missing?" Jennifer said, "Okay. I checked the hospital and the jails and she's not in either one." So, the wedding was at Heiser Farm in Dayton, Oregon. This call has been much debated due to the calmness of her voice, but giving her the benefit of the doubt, people cope with stressful situations differently. However, the mention of hospitals and jails was strange. If Jennifer thought that her daughter Jennifer was in the hospital or jail, there must be a reason behind it. Worries won't subside even if she rules out these options. It would only increase. Meghan could be injured somewhere and cannot call for help, or she got in the car with the wrong person. Jennifer again called a non-emergency number and reported about her missing daughter. The dispatcher picked up the call and asked, "What is your name?" Jennifer replied, "My name is Jennifer Weathers." The dispatcher asked, "And what is her name?" Jennifer replied, "Meghan Cordi." The dispatcher again asked, "What was she wearing?" She replied, "She was wearing a floral one-piece, navy blue with flowers on it. She doesn't have her phone and wallet. Everything was left in my car." The dispatcher said, "We'll have someone get in touch with you." The authorities took Meghan's sudden disappearance seriously. Around 300 volunteers were recruited to search for Meghan, to search the woods and farmlands. No trace of Meghan was found along these routes. On the day Meghan disappeared, she was in a store where a family friend works not far from the venue. Meghan Spencer complimented Meghan's outfit, a blue floral jumpsuit, to which Meghan replied, "Thank you."
And she came in and she was in like a floral pantsuit. And I remembered it because we do have weddings down here, but it's not overly common to see a bunch of people dressed up. So I said, "Oh, that's really pretty." She said, "Thank you."
Meghan Spencer was shocked, but not at the fact that someone could go missing in this area. She was barefoot. It was pitch black at 10:30 at night and had no streetlights.
Well, she was barefoot and it's 10:30, 10 at night. It's pitch black down there. There's no streetlights, no nothing.
The authorities knew who Meghan was last seen with, Jennifer, and they wanted to search her car. They found Meghan's cell phone and shoes in the front seat. The fact that Meghan left her phone was alarming. Something was alarming in the car. Blonde hair pieces in the front seat that seemed to be pulled out of the scalp, not cut. It seemed that the argument Jennifer mentioned was serious. Then she let on the following clip showing some of Jennifer's questioning, which was done while she was attached to the lie detector test. The investigators knew that this was not going to prove as real evidence in court, but it was something they could get a hint from.
Yeah, we were in the car.
Okay. And then it got heated in the car?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, did it ever get physical in the car?
She pulled my hair.
Okay. How far from the venue were you, or was it still at the venue?
No, it was right before she got out of the car. We'd already started driving, and she was yelling at me. And she just yanked my head back. And I slammed on the brakes. And then I yelled at her, "What are you doing? Gia's in the car." And I reached back and hit her arm. I'm sure I must have hit her arm. Just trying to make her let go of my hair.
The investigator asked Jennifer, "Did it get physical in the car?" Jennifer replied, "She pulled my hair, we were driving, yelling at me, and yanking my hair. She yelled at me, and then I also yelled at her. I hit her arm, trying to let go of my hair." At the start of the story, we know that only 3 people knew the real story. We don't know what happened that day, or what parts of this story Jennifer is saying are true or not. It seemed like Jennifer was putting all the blame on Meghan. Getting physical is never the answer, but Jennifer made it look like Meghan went crazy in front of her daughter. With the resources, it seemed like Jennifer was a good mother. There was a long pause in Jennifer's last statement. She was calm and collected, but still uncomfortable. It seemed as if she was trying to recollect her version.
And when she finally let go of my hair, I started slowing the car down, which is when she started opening the door and saying, "I'm going to get out." Oh, first she had called her boyfriend.
You hit her in the arm. How many times?
Oh, I don't know. I just reached back until she let go of my hair.
Okay.
I
Are
don't
you
know.
sure that you were hitting her arm?
No.
You're just hitting something.
I was just reaching back and,
Okay.
I mean, it had to have been her arm because she would have been like this. So, I'm assuming it was her arm.
Okay.
Yeah, but she called her boyfriend first and wanted him to come get her.
What's
And
his
that
name?
was before she pulled my hair. His
Okay.
name is Brendan. She calls him Burr. That's his nickname, B-U-R.
The investigator asked Jennifer, "How many times did you hit her in the arm?" Jennifer stated that she had no idea. She just reached back to let go of my hair, but Meghan called her boyfriend first and wanted him to come and get her before she pulled my hair. His name is Brendan, but she calls him Bert by his nickname. The investigator questioned, "Was Meghan worried that her drunk mother was driving? Why would she leave her daughter in the car with her if she was?"
Cursing back and forth at one another and really getting ugly like that. I mean, you're
Oh, are you
saying that
asking me?
she's...
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she called him, you know, "I want you to come get me, I want you to come get me," and he must have said no. And then,
Whose phone did she call him with?
hers.
Okay.
And then,
And this is when she pulls your hair not too long after that?
yeah,
What predicated that?
who knows? I have no idea.
Were you guys in the middle of yelling at one another and she pulls your hair?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Jennifer said that Meghan called her boyfriend and asked him to come and get her, and he must have said no. Investigator asked, "Whose phone did she use to call him?" Jennifer replied, "Her own," and took a pause. "This is when she pulled my hair not too long after that." Investigator asked, "Were you guys in the middle of yelling at one another when she pulled your hair?" Jennifer clearly showed signs of no clear recollection of thoughts, and this was probably because she was so drunk. If she had been sober, this sudden act would have not occurred and have gotten to that point, Jennifer said. After he wouldn't pick her up, she got mad. Investigator: "Did you both use insulting terms for each other?" Jennifer said, "I never called her any name, but she did." Jennifer was trying to paint Meghan as the story's villain, which is a strange behavior from a mother whose daughter is missing. She would have been more worried about her safety instead of trying to pin her as the bad guy. Jennifer: "She finally let go of me and tried to slow the car down, and I asked her not to get out of the car. I was almost at a stop, and she was trying to open the door. She got to open it and jumped out. I stopped the car and walked around to look for her, but I couldn't see her anywhere. I couldn't leave Gia unattended either, so I got back in the car and turned it around in the direction she jumped out of. I had the windows rolled down and kept calling her name. I couldn't see anything." Investigator: "How fast were you going when she jumped?"
Less than 5 miles an hour, yeah. She was messing with a door handle, and I was coming to a stop.
Did you hear anything when she jumped?
No,
So you went back to the car and turned around? What was the child doing?
I really don't know.
After a long pause, she stated that Gia was crying.
I tried to find her and called Bert at some point, but he didn't answer. Then Gia started crying. I can't believe she was there for all that.
It seemed like Jennifer didn't show any concern for the fact Meghan was missing, and the investigator continued, "Is it normal for Meghan to flip out like this?"
Not so much. Back when I got divorced and got remarried, it was...
Did you try to call her?
No, I did not. I was more worried about Gia and getting her home. She was my main focus. I drove home and put her to bed.
Has Meghan done this kind of stuff in the past?
She never did, but threatened to before.
Any more drinking or anything like that? Muscle relaxants?
No, I was tired already and didn't even take my makeup off. Not even my contacts. I got in bed with Gia and cuddled her to sleep.
Did Meghan's behavior surprise you that she was doing this in front of her daughter? What kind of stuff sets her off?
Me. Anything I do? She had done this to me a few weeks ago when I stopped by to pick up Gia while she was at work.
Where did she work?
Blue Mercury at Bridgerport.
What is that?
It's a cosmetic store with aesthetic services. She's an esthetician. I asked her what time she would be done with work, and she said 5:30. I told her that she said 5 before. She never knows her schedule and was like, "What?" I told her that you are now 27 years old and didn't know whether you got off at 5 or 5:30. When I woke up by 5:30, I woke up, got dressed, took Gia, and went out in search of Meghan.
You called her first?
No, I had her phone. She had left her phone in the car.
When did you find that out?
I saw it on the floor when I took Gia out of the back seat.
After many days of investigation and searching by the police, a huge police force was working to search for Meghan. But still, they didn't get any clue about her disappearance. After thoroughly looking over, the authorities were compelled to terminate the search. An enormous number of investigators had been invested in searching for Meghan. Still, after finding no trace of her in a wide circle of the area where Jennifer claimed to have exited the vehicle, they had to cut back. They would keep putting effort into Meghan's current legal case examination. Authorities began reinvestigating Meghan's case, where they found something missing that she didn't tell us, according to Jennifer. Jennifer again called for an investigation and got her lie detector test. The results were questionable. It was clear that Jennifer was not telling the whole truth. Meghan's case was called off. After that day, on August 23rd, many people were jogging and running on the roads of Dayton. One of them had seen something unusual deep down on the riverbank. Everyone thought that it was Meghan's dead body. The search for the missing woman was stopped. People stumbled on a body near Dayton, thinking of Meghan's body. The question arises as to why authorities hadn't found her body. The reason was her body was found about 9 miles away from where she got down from Jennifer's car. This is the turning point of Meghan's case. Authorities again began investigating Meghan's case. Meghan's body was shifted to the medical examination at the crime scene. The results showed that Meghan got major injuries, which was the leading cause of her death. She had suffered from force trauma and aortic separation, which would have caused instant death within the next 30 minutes. After this information, they found no other vital clue about what happened to Meghan. They held a press conference on September 27th to inform people of the latest update on Meghan's case. At this conference, District Lawyer Brad Berry gave detailed information to the public regarding Meghan's case. He discussed the post-mortem results and medical examinations of Meghan's body, revealing that she had some significant injuries which led her to her death. Reports say that those injuries did not occur by a car accident or damage to her bare feet. It shows that Meghan didn't walk any distance. Later on, Jennifer was recalled for another detection test, and after that, she stopped cooperating with the police. Bradbury revealed one more meaningful truth in the press conference. The medical reports show that Meghan came out of a car when it was at a speed greater than 5 miles per hour. They asked Jennifer, "How fast do you think you were going when she jumped out?" She replied, "I was almost just off." However, the death was ruled to be accidental. The district attorney said that there would be no criminal charges for Jennifer. The investigators concluded that Jennifer was driving in the wrong direction after missing a turn. When Jennifer jumped out of the car, she hit herself on the ground and got rolled down towards a steep embankment. It was surprising that Jennifer sped up her car before Meghan jumped out of it. Jennifer could be in trouble for driving recklessly. She had to go to trial in October, and ever since, Jennifer never took a breathalyzer test on that night. The prosecutors had to rely only on the testimony of witnesses who saw her at the weddings. In the end, she agreed to a deal, admitting to driving under the influence with no charges related to her daughter's death.
Prosecutors say Jennifer Weathers was driving drunk with her daughter Meghan Cordi and her 3.5-year-old granddaughter that night in August when Meghan went missing. Jennifer appeared in court today, facing charges for a DUI and reckless endangering. She's not charged in Meghan's death. Many are frustrated by this, including prosecutors who say they spent hours looking for a charge that fit.
I don't know that there's anybody as frustrated as law enforcement and as we are in law enforcement in not being able to find something that fits. Sometimes, criminal statutes just don't, they can't fill every gap, and they.
The lawyer and prosecutor were openly upset that there were no charges linked to Meghan's death. They publicly stated that Jennifer had lied to the authorities. She was imprisoned for 5 days and placed on 3 years probation. Gia is currently living with her father in Salem, Oregon. Jennifer is not permitted to get in touch with her. The case received an update when Meghan's father filed a lawsuit against Jennifer for $500K for carelessness that resulted in Meghan's passing away while operating a vehicle while drunk. Additionally, he filed a lawsuit against the wedding location for nearly $1 million for excessive alcohol service and not stopping Jennifer from operating a vehicle. The judge rejected this while intoxicated after he did not answer a motion made. We probably won't ever be aware of Meghan Cordi's circumstances. Is it a situation that will always have a long-more query rather than responses, and predicated on Jennifer's behavior, she is not likely to ever come forward to share an alternative story?